What is up, faithful? What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Niner Sickness podcast on this beautiful, beautiful Saturday evening. I have a great guest. We're going to talk 49er football. We'll talk a little bit of Rams. We'll preview the Niner and Panthers game. We'll talk a little bit of football. So just kick back, grab your favorite beverage, and enjoy the show right after this.
Roll up to the party, roll up to the party. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party.
Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. 49ers are 2-2 in the young season, just coming off a big win on Monday Night Football against our rival team, the Los Angeles Lambs. We went in and kicked their butt, total dominance from our defense. We were going to talk about that in a bit with my guest. Our offense did enough to hang in there. Jimmy did okay. And we're going to talk about that as well. But what a performance. What a performance from our defense. Man, oh man, did we put a spanking on them. Before we get started, we know what we got to do. Please wipe your feet before entering and smash that like button for your boy, Niner Sickness. I would appreciate that. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at Niner Sickness 49. Make sure to go there for all your updates, information of what's going on with the podcast. Then you can follow me on IG as well. Follow me on IG at Niner Sickness. Let me know how you're doing out there. And if you want to see pictures, things that I post, welcome to do so. Let me say hi to the crew. What's up, Damien? Is in the house. How you doing, Damien? We got Lucky in the house. What's up, Lucky? We got Marcus Peterson. How you doing, sir? Welcome to the show, brother. Rams fans are still in their feelings about that defeat. They sure are. Well, with no further ado, let me bring in the man, the myth, the legend, my guest for today. His name is Jason from Faithful Radio. You can check him out. I'll have him introduce himself and let you know where you can find him. With no further ado, let me bring in my boy Jason. What's up, Jason?
What is up, Beto? How's it going, my man?
I'm doing good, brother. Doing good. Glad to have you.
Hold on. I gotta do something real quick. Let me
All
wipe
right.
the feet. I know the rules around here.
Oh, right on.
Feet are clean.
Appreciate that.
Let's get this going.
Thank you for wiping your feet, brothers. I appreciate that. Dina Harvey, what's up? Dina, welcome to the channel. How you doing? We got my girl Tanisha in the house. What's up, Tanisha? David McNews in the house. Old faithful David, what's up, my brother? From another mother, how you doing? Ryan, look who it is. Ryan's in the house. What's up, Ryan? Welcome to the channel. So, Jason, before we get started, where can people find you, find your podcast? Please plug in all your platforms. The platform is yours, brother.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me again on here. Yeah, you can find me and the person who actually runs Niner Faithful Radio, TJ, over at Niner Faithful Radio, pretty much on all social medias. I usually do most of the social media content when it comes to running the Twitter, the Instagram, and the Facebook. Yeah, just join us there too. We definitely do all stuff. You know, we do pre-game, halftime, post-game shows. We do a couple of shows during the week as well.
That's good, bro. So go make sure to follow them. They bring in some great stuff. They sell a lot of great merchandise as well. Make sure to follow their podcast and support them. So, Jason, let's go ahead and bring up our first topic of the show. Let's talk a little bit. Let's reminisce a little bit. Let's talk a little bit of 49ers and Rams recap. I want to get your thoughts on the game. What got you excited, and what did you see that you still think needs to be fixed?
I think the biggest thing that got me excited, I think pretty much everybody agrees on, is this defense. This defense right now is just playing otherworldly. It's it's still only 4 games, but right now it is on a record pace. Right now it's outpacing both the Ravens and the Bears defense for as good as they're doing right now. So that's really good to see, obviously. And the 9 points that they scored doesn't actually. The game was actually more dominant than it led on with just being 9 points. Honestly, it looked much more like there was a couple of chances to where it looked like they were only going to have 3 points on the board. So it was much more dominant. And that's saying a lot with only 9 points. I think the big issue that everybody was concerned about was Jimmy, but it's just reverted back to the offense that we have had for the last 5 years with Jimmy at the helm. It's going to be much more Yak brother heavy, and for the most part, he led the offense pretty efficiently for the most part.
Yeah, he sure did. He didn't screw it up. He definitely didn't screw it up. We know we can't win because of Jimmy, but we definitely know we can lose it because of him. So as long as he keeps upright, doesn't turn the ball over, I was pretty sure he was going to throw one at least to Bobby Wagner, and surprisingly, he did not. So as long as he stays upright and Kyle Shanahan continues to scheme the offense to protect Jimmy back there with that offensive line shuffles that he was doing with Daniel Brunskill and Spencer Burford. Surprisingly, Aaron Banks has been playing really well. And now we got to do a little of shuffling at the left tackle since we lost McKivitz and Williams. Jalen Moore is not one that I'm excited to watch going forward, but he is what he is, and we're going to try to see what we can do to protect him. I wanted to ask you, defensively, you said that the Niners was very dominant. I mean, I believe it was 36 pressures, 7 sacks. I forgot how many hits. This defense was flying everywhere. Give me a player, not named Hufanga, not named Bosa, that really got you juices going on defense.
Dre Greenlaw, the man was all over the field tackling anything that came within arm's reach. I think he ended up with 16 tackles, I believe is what it was. And I think the next highest was Fred Warner at 9. And so, yeah, I mean, just that's, one of your quote unquote second tier players. You would almost, most people who don't follow the team don't know who Dre Greenlaw is. But for those of us that follow this team, we know how damn good Dre Greenlaw is. And he is just flying everywhere. He's being disruptive, and nothing is getting by him right now.
Yeah, he's definitely flying around. I mean, we all knew what we have in Greenlaw. He did not play very well against the Bears. But I mean, besides Hufanga, who really did in that monsoon of a weather field. But
yeah,
the Niners still decided to extend him 2 years, which I'm glad they did. And it's starting to show that he's grateful for that, and he's been playing lights out the last 2 games. And we needed him in a game like this against our division rival, because we all know this. We all have fun and we make fun of our rivals, but we all know that division games are hard to beat. I don't care how good they're playing or not. Record doesn't mean anything when you play your division foe.
Not at all.
They always come to play, and the Rams are no exception. They play the Niners well all the time. I understand we dominated on defense. I understand that we sacked them 7 times, but they're also playing with a very, very bad offensive line. They lost a lot of key players to that offensive line. I believe so. Yeah, I know their center went down.
And then the backup center on
And the
top of
backup
it.
center went down as well. Kind of like, yeah. So they did what they could. Now our defense still did what they had to do, is just go in there and disrupt that offense, and they did that. But the Rams always plays us good, no matter what the score or the outcome is. Look who it is, my boy Rudy from the Ramilia Sports Report.
Oh,
How you
thank
doing,
you, Amelia.
Rudy? He says, props to Niner Sickness, great guest. That's why I brought him in here. But I appreciate that, Rudy. Go and, it's just a hard one, man, because I don't like the Rams, and I definitely don't like the Cowboys. Cowboys I don't like because of the rivalry in the 80s and 90s. And the Rams I don't like because they are within our division. So it's like, who do I want to win in this game? And I told myself, well, the hate for the Cowboys wants the Cowboys to lose. But the idea that the Cowboys is not in our division, the
There it
Rams
is.
are, and we're trying to win our division. Therefore, I have to root for the evil. How does it go? The worst of both evils, which is have the Cowboys win on this game. Damien says Drake Jackson, and he's coming along pretty good there, Jason. He had a batted ball down, and his speed is ridiculous, man. What are your thoughts so far, since it was brought up? What are your thoughts so far of Drake Jackson and what he's done in the little short time that he has on the field?
So far, I believe the progress has looked pretty good for him. He's getting more and more time out there. He's getting more used to the pro game, getting more acclimated and this and that. Because he was a lot lighter the last couple of years over at USC. He's put on some weight. He's probably had to get used to moving his body around at that weight again. But I'm curious to see what's going to happen more towards the end of the season when he's actually fully into it, especially because, it's a longer season, obviously, than college. But, I expect him to just keep heating up and, get better and better as the weeks go by. Maybe even push Ebukam for playing time towards the end of the season.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Rudy says the Niners defense has been great, but against a Rams with a depleted O-line and third string, the Oni Cup and Huckabee are targets. They should look good.
Well, against the Rams offensive line, D'Amico Ryans could, with that depleted offensive line, just blitz the hell out of him all night long, but he didn't. He was confident enough in his front four to get to Stafford all night long. So
Jason.
He didn't blitz them. He just went with the four, and we were still getting all those pressures on them without over blitzing like everybody thought we were going to do with that weak offensive line.
Yeah, we got home with our front four, and keep in mind we got there with them minus Javon Kinlaw,
TJ,
and then and minus Eric Armstead, who went out. So we did it with Kevin Givens. We did it with a rotational Kevin Hyder. So it wasn't like our front. Yeah, our front four wasn't at his strength either, and yet we were able to get there 7 times with 5 different players. So, what's up, DJ? Welcome to the channel, brother. There he is, the man in charge.
Did you see the stat about Bosa? Bosa was getting, I think it was like 32-point-something% pressure, just Nick Bosa by himself. The next highest team is at like 30%. And that's just Nick Bosa. That's how much pressure we are putting on quarterbacks right now. That's insane.
Yeah, that game against the Broncos, we put a lot of pressure. I mean, we held them to 9 points. People think, well, it was 11. No. Don't get it mistaken. We held them to 9 points. Those 2 extra points were given away by Mr. Jimmy stepping out of bounds. But we held them to 9 points. We held Seattle to 0 points. People are like, but they had 7. Yes, they had 7 on special teams. If we're talking defensively only, that was 0 against the Seahawks. And we did give up the most points against Chicago, but that was in the fourth quarter when things just started to fall apart for our offense, and we just could not, match up with that weather. Yeah, we were playing their defense and the weather. So It was definitely not a nice game to watch. Vinny, what's up, Vinny? Thank you for wiping your feet. I appreciate that. Your boy says Drake had a good game. He's getting better little by little. We're going to move on to our next segue in a second. Let me just read this comment from Mr. Rudy. Niners D look good, but against a Rams team. I think he wrote that already.
Yeah, I
think he just repeated it. I think he wants to make his point out there. But at the end of the day, no excuses. Rudy, we said that in your show. You invited me to your show, and we agreed on that. No excuses. Both teams had injuries. Both teams were not coming in at 100%. We played you with our backup quarterback. You played us with your starting quarterback. So both teams were depleted. One little bit worse than the other, but at the end of the day, you got to show up and play, and your backup players need to show up. With that said, let's move on to our next segue. Give me a second. How special can the Niners 22 defense be, in your opinion, if this offense does not screw it up?
Just like I said earlier, like I said, right now we are on a pace that's just, I don't know if it's able to be kept up for a lot of the, just because of such a long season. But right now they are just playing otherworldly. And it's just, think about it, with what we have right now, we're getting reinforcements back. We got Jason Verrett coming back. We've got Jimmy Ward coming back. Kinlaw, Armstead, both out right now. Imagine how good and what this defense can do once everybody is back. We're playing with backups, and we are still putting out this kind of a performance. So to me, if we get everybody back healthy, we are going to be pushing for best defense all time kind of a thing at this rate. Which defense wins championships. Is the way I've always seen things, and I absolutely love it right now.
Yeah, we're old school, Jason, and we know that offense fills in the seats, but defense wins championships. The 2000 Ravens did that exactly, and the 85 Bears did that. And right now, the Niners so far are better than both of those defenses. Now, I understand it's a young season. I understand it's only 4 games in, and people may say, "Wow, look at the teams you played." Well, we can only play what's on the schedule. We don't have control of what's on the schedule. We play against the schedule. Now, we will be tested. Now, honestly, I thought that the Rams were going to be a test. I honestly, all week, they haven't played an offense as good as the Rams. They haven't played an offense as explosive, as fast as the Rams. This is where a lot of people were saying, we play the Bears, we play the Broncos, we play the Seahawks, trashy offenses. Wait until you play the Rams, and the defense is going to be really, truly tested. I don't know about you, Jason. This is not me being harsh on the Rams, but I didn't feel like we were tested by the Rams. Not at all offensively. I think we handled them pretty well. So I guess we're going to have to wait to the Kansas City game to kind of see where our defense is at.
Yeah. My thing, I expected so much more, Allen Robinson. I expected Allen Robinson to have a pretty good game. There was not a single, I think it was 2 balls were thrown in his way, and they weren't until the fourth quarter. So, we had Ward just shut him down for the most part all game long. And even the 2 balls that he caught were only for 15 yards, I think, total. So, no, we haven't necessarily been tested. So it's either we haven't been tested because the Rams aren't as good as as everybody predicted they were going to be, or we are a hell of a lot better than what people think we are.
Most definitely. I agree. And teams are going to find out, especially tomorrow, Carolina, which is, I believe, the worst offense in the league, facing the number 1 defense in the league. So we're going to see how that looks between them. The Niners still have to find a way not to screw it up. Damien says, Rudy, good luck with the Vaqueros. Yeah, good luck with the Cowboys tomorrow. If you thought you had a hard time with Bosa, here comes Parsons. He wants to come in, and I think he's trying to keep up pace with the what do you call it?
Sacks.
Not the sacks, but the hurries or the I just mentioned them right now. Pressure, thank you. He's right behind Bosa in the pressure department. So I believe he has like 22. Bosa has 30. So something like that. So Cowboys, they're going to feast on that offensive line. So good luck, Rudy. So let's go ahead and move on to our third segment here. Let's see here. Give me a second. All right. Why aren't you? There you go. How far can Jimmy G take this team in 2022?
I think Jimmy will get as far as obviously the defense will let him go. I don't necessarily, and I use this term not necessarily as an insult to Jimmy. Jimmy is a really good game manager. His job is to get the ball out to Ayuk, to Debo, to Kittle, and hand off. That's all you really have to do. Yes, he has his deficiencies, throwing deep and all those kind of things. That's fine. We have the players around him to let them. Jimmy just drives the Ferrari when it comes to our team. All we need him to do is drive it straight, and it'll run fine and perfectly fast right down the middle. Just don't oversteer and keep the Ferrari going, and we'll be fine. So as long as Jimmy plays within Jimmy's limits, this offense and this team will go as far, Super Bowl. I honestly think as long as everything comes back healthy and everything like that, we will get that far again.
Yeah, it's like you said, driving a Ferrari or driving a 757 on autopilot when you're just cruising to the sky. Don't be tempted to take that out of autopilot, Jimmy. Just don't screw it up. Don't turn the ball over. Continue to just game manage. Now, I know a lot of people were very upset at Jimmy for that Denver's game, and he played awful. I know that Jimmy's not a great quarterback. He's a top 15 or middle of the 15 pack quarterbacks. They are worse. I just want to make sure that I'm clear on that. There are quarterbacks that are worse than Jimmy, and we're facing one tomorrow. So to that point, who would you rather have, Jimmy right now or Mayfield? So even if those that hate Jimmy understand that game against the Broncos is probably going to be his ugliest game that I've seen him play since he's been here. And Jimmy hasn't got acclimated to the team yet. I mean, he'd have no offseason. I know people don't want to use that as an excuse. No offseason, nothing. He was like an outcast. Can you imagine? You're like an outcast. You're on your way out. You said your goodbyes before the season was over to the media and to the fan base. You're out there throwing the ball like a stepchild that nobody wants, and everything's going on over here. All those things, and suddenly you decide to stay. They decide to keep you. All right, come and hang out with us. They signed him, and then Trey goes down, and now you went from not being liked, being that stepchild, to oh shit, come on, we need you now. Now we got to depend on you, and so it takes a minute for him to get things underneath him. So that I'm not making excuses for that Broncos game. He played terrible, but he started to show a little bit better against the Rams, and we'll see tomorrow how he continues to get better. I know our limitations with Jimmy. I know we know how far we can go. If that wasn't the case, we would have never gotten Trey in the first place. So I am with you, Jason. I am with you 100%. As long as he doesn't take that steering wheel out of automatic pilot, we should be fine. I mean, we have the defense and we have the run game to be able to win this. Jimmy just has to help out the defense by not turning the ball over. And not only turning the ball over, Jason, but where he turns that over at. It makes a big difference. Because
stepping out of bounds in the end zone.
Exactly. Don't put that extra pressure on the defense, man. Especially when you're doing 3 and outs and the defense is tired, and then you put them in a spot by turning the ball over in our own 10-yard line. You know what I mean? Like you just don't want to do that. You want to do it on their 1 yard line, and now they got to go move the length of the field. I mean, I don't want to turn over or fumble, but I'll take that one rather than take it on our side. So I am with you. Jimmy can take us as far as long as he doesn't screw it up. All right, my friend, moving on to our next one. Is Talanoa Hufanga a superstar in the making, in your opinion?
Man, no, because I think right now we're already seeing him as a star.
I love it. I love it.
That's my oos, Polynesian pride. I know people are like, hey, what's this? The white guy. Look, I am half Samoan. Tongans, we're all family basically for the most part. So, I always support all my poly brothers and everything like that. But, yeah, I think he started off a little slow last year, especially in coverage. And maybe the game was a little too fast for him for the most part. But you can tell that this offseason he spent time with basically the man who he looks and plays like, Troy Polamalu, and you can still see a lot of those tendencies for those of us who are old enough to see how good Polamalu was when he was at his day, in his heyday. You're starting to see some of that stuff start to come out more and more and more. We've got him on the blitzes, hitting people in the backfield. He's starting to jump routes. Obviously, he jumped the route and got the pick six. So, like I said, and it doesn't help when your mentor basically is Troy Polamalu. You got the master and the apprentice, and right now the apprentice is starting to look really close to how the master did.
Well, they say you're a product of your environment. You are who you hang around with, and when you hang around someone like Troy, and Troy's such a humble man himself, such a God-fearing man himself, and he's pouring into Talanoa Hufanga. And now you're starting to see how it's trying to translate all that hard work that he's been putting off in the offseason, all the training with Troy, and now it's starting to pay off in this defense. What you said it was key is anticipating the jump. You got to Troy had that instinct. Yes, thank you. Troy had it. Now Talanoa is starting to show that he has it. And you gotta know when. He even jumped that interception against the Rams. He jumped a little bit too fast, where he got excited, and he kind of muffled the ball a little bit. Let me see if I can. I'll try to get back to this real quick. Give me a second.
Another 100 yards against the 49ers again for Cooper Kupp. This one is juggled pick. There goes Hufanga. Touchdown, San Francisco. Pick six. .15.
All right, let me get back to where I was. Where was I? So, that's not. Hold on. I wanted to show that real quick because he got a little excited, kind of muffed it, but he caught it. I thought he was going to drop it. I'm like, don't drop it. When he didn't drop it, he just ran. And there's, people, one of the things people kind of talked about him was his speed. Oh, he's not fast. He didn't clock.
He's game fast.
But he's game. Thank you. Jerry Rice wasn't fast in the combine either, but he was game fast. And I'm not comparing him to Jerry Rice, but I'm just saying he was doing his thing out there, man. So, I'm happy for him. He looks like he's a very humble kid, man, and he deserves nothing but the best. My boy Roberto Hastings is in the house. What's up, Roberto? Melissa came in as well. Melissa, how are you doing, Melissa? Good to see you. She says,
how long do you think before Polamalu gets his shampoo commercial?
I don't know. I don't know if it'll be a shampoo. It will have to be something similar. I don't know if he wants to take that away from Troy, unless Troy passes the mantle and passes the Head and Shoulders mantle to him. We'll have to wait and see. But I wouldn't be surprised if he does like a shaving or some kind of gel for the hair or something in that point. Melissa says it spoke volumes. Ronnie Lott hit him up on game day. And you hear Shani with Papa saying he asked for Ronnie's number. Oh, constantly working on his craft and learning from the greats. See, that's a smart kid. You want to be great, you got to hang out with great because it will rub off. Greatness rubs off. You just got to find it and humble yourself there. So I'm happy about this kid. I'm looking forward to seeing how he finishes the year. Do you think he gets an INT in this game?
Against Bayfield, yeah. I mean I think I said on the show that we did on Tuesday. I don't think Baker Mayfield comes back after halftime.
Wow.
I don't. I think we're gonna be, especially because him and Bosa. They've got this personal
Yeah.
crush with each other.
Oh, from college.
I think we are just gonna go after him. Baker Mayfield is by far the worst quarterback in the NFL right now. I don't think he comes back after halftime.
Wow. Who comes back if he doesn't come back? Because
PJ Walker.
yeah, because Sam Donald's on IR.
Yeah, so it can't be him.
No.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So
If it is, I'll be like, hey. What's going on? Roberto says, what up, you guys? Have thoughts on Kinlaw? Is he on the team anymore? I don't know if that's a little shot there, my friend. I give the guy a lot of crap, but I don't even see him on the field. Yeah, his issue with his knee is I heard it can be chronic pain. Coming from a person that has chronic pain, let me tell you, man, a chronic pain never goes away. You can only try to find ways to try to bear with it and help through it, but it doesn't go away, and it's a shame. It's a shame. But one thing I can say this, for those that want to blame Kinlaw, it's not his fault that he got drafted where he got drafted. He just went to the team that drafted him. If anything, the Niners should have did their more due diligence on this. Now, I understand why they did it, Jason. They did it because if it wasn't for the knee, there's no way Kinlaw is there at the spot that we took him. He would have went way higher, way higher. So they were looking for that reward. Hopefully, they will get that reward, and it hasn't paid off. I was a big Warps guy. I wanted Warps, the left tackle for Tampa, and then when we traded with Tampa and he took Warps, I'm like and I understand they wanted to fill in Buckner spot, but I think DJ Jones would have been fine there, in my opinion. But that's just me. Real quick before I move on to my next segue, what are your thoughts on Kinlaw and this continued issue with his knee?
I think it's just the red flags that he had from when he was drafted are starting to show. He had issues in college, and for a man that size, and your knees hardly ever get better. For someone that big, knees are always, it's always an issue when you're that big. And if they're already that bad, that young, they typically don't get better for the most part. And we're showing it. Like you said, it was a reach. And had it paid off, that would have been a great steal for us in the first round, instead, picking him that far back. But hindsight's 2020. You got to take chances.
Yeah, you got exactly. Great teams are those. I mean, it's easier to put the finger. Oh, well, they screwed up on Kinlaw. But if he would have paid off, people would have been like, "Oh my God, what a steal!" A great GMs and great head coaches, they take a risk on a player knowing that there's going to be backlash from the fan base and the media if it doesn't plan up. Maybe it wasn't the smartest move, but I love the confidence in my head coach and my GM to make a move like that, because a lot of head coaches and GMs won't make it because they're afraid of the backlash of the media and the fan base. So it's still young, but you're right. When you're that big and you're dealing with chronic pain, it's especially in the knees where it's hard, because according to him, he had the surgery done or whatever he had done, and he felt like he had a whole new knee. And if it's still lingering on a new knee, it's not a good sign. So let's go ahead and move on to our next one. How special, in your opinion, Jason, is Deebo Samuel?
I think he's the best weapon in the league. There's no one that's even close to being as versatile as him. I know that the Rams use Cooper Kupp in a similar style, but Cup doesn't have the breakaway ability like Debo does. He doesn't shake people left and right. He doesn't run through Jalen Ramsey like he did. You know, Debo, with his size and his power, with how he's built, is the difference. You know, Cooper Cup isn't going to be taking all those hits running up the middle like Debo does. So, like I said, to me, there's no better weapon throughout the entire NFL than Debo is.
Yeah, he's fun to watch, man. And he got the sign of approval from the GOAT himself. You saw after that crazy catch and ran it in for a touchdown, he took a little swig of that bourbon or whatever he was drinking in that cup. Jerry Rice was having fun and enjoying himself out there. Debo Samuel is definitely fun to watch. I am so glad that we kept him and we signed him for 3 years. This whole offseason, and whether he was going to come back or not, people were talking about you can get a lot of picks for him. Honestly, I didn't care about the picks, and what he did on Sunday is the reason why I wanted him here and not the picks, because you can hit and miss with picks. We're talking about Kinlaw just a few minutes ago. So
exactly.
I'd rather go with commodity that I already seen shown in the field than a pick that you're taking a risk on. You don't know what you're getting. So we know what we have in Debo already. You know he's a playmaker. And whenever you get the ball in his hands, it can be a touchdown just like that. And I'm glad to see that even Ramsey couldn't tackle him. I don't know what Ramsey was doing. Yeah, exactly, bro. Because I don't know what he was trying to do on that. Who gets called now that Colton is on IR? Oh.
I'm bringing Jason Poe up. I've been wanting Jason Poe pulled up since before the draft. I followed him for a while. I hope Jason Poe gets his chance. But more than likely, it's going to be Jalen Moore. We're going to keep Kittle in probably a little bit more to help him out on that side.
Yep.
And I can even see we're going to do a screen to Kittle where he stays in. He's going to block Brian Burns. He's going to release, and he's going to go deep. So I could see that being already drawn up by Shanahan.
One of the benefits is that one of Jimmy's good traits is his quick release. You're right, Jason. And that's what's able to get the ball out of his hand quickly. I know that pass that he left. Remember the one against the Rams where Juice was wide open, and if he would have hit him, that would have been a touchdown automatically, and he threw it to Debo for a short loss. People on hindsight 2020 watching it from home on replay, how did you miss him? But when that pressure's coming at you, Jason, and you're doing that quick release, I'm not making excuses for Jimmy. I'm just saying sometimes it's hard to see that as it's easier for us to see it as fans on TV than it is from him when the action is happening.
Well, that was Aaron Donald running down you. I'm sorry. Look, I know we don't like Aaron Donald, but he's a damn good defensive tackle.
Oh, yeah.
That was
the
Aaron
best.
Donald running right at you free. It's not like it was some small defensive back. So you had this large man who's trying to take you out that's running at you. It's hard to get that pass off. So like I said, yes, I know a lot of people were yelling and screaming, oh, how did you miss that? Well, you throw that pass with Aaron Donald running right in your face.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I said, a hindsight 2020 is always, it's always, we see plays that should have happened. I play Madden, okay? And there's sometimes where I throw a play and then I watch the replay myself and I'm like, oh, how did I miss him? You know what I mean? And this is a video game on TV. I can only imagine in real life with real bullets. I just want to acknowledge real quick one of my buddies, faithful followers, Corey Davis is in the house. What's up, Corey Davis? For those that don't know or not familiar, and he's okay for me to say this, please keep my friend Corey Davis in prayer. He has stage 4 cancer that he's dealing with, that he found out this year. So he's trying to keep up his spirits, and he's a faithful Niner fan. Please continue to keep him in your prayers. Lift him up. Say hello to Corey. Great guy, great human being. And I'm pulling for you, Corey. Nice to see you on my chat.
Stay strong, Corey.
Dina Harvey saying, what's up, Corey? Melissa already sending prayers for Corey. Appreciate that, Melissa, very much. Damian Lee says, what's up, Damian Lee? Jason Poe
He's right.
is an offensive weapon. When do you think we'll start seeing him a little bit more, Jason?
Maybe towards the end of the season, we'll see how things flow out. Like, one of the things that we've done to preview for some of the guys during the draft was Jason Poe. And for some reason, I've always wanted to see Jason Poe in the backfield. We run that pull where we run Trent pulling, and then we run Debo behind. Can you imagine all of that coming at you? Who is going to stand in front of Jason Poe and Trent Williams, and then Debo following in right behind? I'm going nuts if we run that at some point this year. I have dreams of that.
Yeah, that sounds exciting. It definitely does. This is Melissa. Do you believe Ward is sprinkled in or out right benches with Gibson? Gibson has been playing really, really good football. Surprisingly, very good football. Sometimes they say if it ain't broken, don't fix it. But as good as Gibson has been playing, if you get a 100% healthy Jimmy Ward, I'm sorry, give me Jimmy Ward next to Hufanga anytime. But that's definitely a good problem to have, in my opinion.
I think he's going to be in a pitch count. I don't think we just outright throw Ward in to start, especially because, Ward has had injury issues over his career. And with as good as Gibson is playing right now, why not just rotate them in and out? Let them all get a chance to play. You got more bullets in the gun, you can shoot more often.
Oh, okay. She was referring to this game coming in. I got you. I thought she was for the whole season, but yeah. I got you, Melissa. Thank you for clarifying that, Jason. Definitely sprinkle them in, and don't put them in and have them take over. That makes plenty of sense.
What if we take Hufanga and drop him down as like a fourth linebacker, and then leave Gibson and Ward in the up top? Oh man, that right there, that sounds good to me.
Man, people have been saying that. I've been hearing a lot of people mentioning about Hufanga getting moved to that linebacker position. But who does he replace though? Because
you just move him up forward. You just move him in a different position. Then you leave Ward and Gibson back.
Yeah, but we always go with only two linebackers for the most part. So who are you going to take out? Greenlaw?
All right, now we don't have Aziz.
Aziz, yeah, but they don't really go normally with a three linebacker. They like to go a lot of nickel with a 5 D-backs. But yeah, I don't know that. I just like the way he's playing it. No, yeah, it's definitely a good problem. Definitely a good problem to have for sure. Yeah, thank you, Melissa. Corey says thank you to everyone. Yeah, Corey's awesome. So let's go ahead and move on to our next segue. Is George Kittle, in your opinion, done, or does he still have gas left in the tank?
Oh, he's nowhere near done. He hasn't started out. He didn't have the repertoire that he has with Jimmy that he does with Trey yet. So there wasn't so much of that going on. But now that Jimmy's getting back in the groove of things, and with the offensive line in general, we're keeping him in as the honorary sixth lineman for the most part. But I also think with these next couple of games, now that Jimmy's got his feet wet, he's going to get in rhythm a little bit more. So I can see them, doing like a release with Kittle after, because I wonder if he's actually going to follow like Brian Burns around a little bit. Like if Burns runs up on the left side, we move him to the left side, or we're just going to put him on the left side all game long to help out Jalen Moore. So no, I don't think he's anywhere near being done. He still has gas in the tank. He's just not being used like like he has been in the past, where he's been out in for passing more.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, I don't think he's done either. I think he's just, people always want to compare him to Kelsey, and people, in fantasy football, people can say he's done, but in real football, not at all. And we know that as much as fantasy football is not, I play fantasy football, but it's not about fantasy football. It's about real football, winning real games. And in real games, you got to be able to block. And that's one thing Kittle does and does very well. And like you said, because of the misfortune of losing Trent and now losing McKivitz and having someone like Jalen Moore, they're going to have Kittle out there protecting and helping him out more. But he can always, one thing I like about Kittle, he can always get behind the linebacker thinking he's on the block, and you can get an easy 10-yard, 15-yard reception by Kittle easily because they think that he's going to stay into block, and then he gets behind the linebacker, and the rest is history. Let me read a comment real quick from Melissa. It says, we are using defense as a third, but played a lot of nickel, Drake Greenlaw, Fred Warner on Monday. Yeah, a lot of for the most part, we played definitely a lot of nickel. That's why I kind of don't see Hufanga. But like Jason said, it's definitely a good problem to have. And if you're going to sit there and try to think of what you can do with these players, why not? That is a possibility to think about. But so I hope Kittle's my tight end in my fantasy league. So Kittle, give me at least 5 yards, bro. That touchdown last week was like, yes, I needed a touchdown. And then when I seen his foot, I'm like, no, because I seen that Rams defender pointing down. I'm like, no. I still won, which is, I'm not complaining. That's what I'm still saying it with a smile. I still won that game, but my goodness, talk about giving me excited and then taking it away from me. Why, Kittle? Why?
I had T.J. Hawkinson. I got like 46 points off of him with that tight end. So.
Oh wow! Look at you. Yeah, I'm thinking about picking what's the name from the Coughlin, the one from the Jets. He doesn't get much, but he gets your steady 8 to 10 points every game. So
Logan Thomas from the Commanders isn't a bad pickup either.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, he's already taken to my league, but yeah, definitely. So moving on to our last segment of the night, let's talk a little bit of the 49ers Panther preview. What are you looking forward to seeing in this game, Jason?
Well, let's just start with this. Like we were talking about fantasy football there for a second. If you have 49ers offensive players, start them. Because for the most, their defense is like 19th, I believe. And they have Frank Lavuvu, I believe is his name, is middle linebacker. He's not a bad linebacker in the middle. And then they have Ryan Burns. But outside of that, they really do not have much of a defense. Their cornerbacks aren't good. We should be moving the ball on them pretty good. Offensively, they are the absolute worst by far in the NFL. Baker Mayfield QBR is 15.3. And now I know everybody likes to dog Jimmy. Jimmy is 33. So imagine half of what Jimmy does. That's how bad Baker Mayfield is. Obviously, they've got Christian McCaffrey, who is their entire offense. He actually leads them in receptions and carries in both instances. So, I mean, obviously we know if you can shut down CMC, you've pretty much stopped their entire offense. So, I mean, it should be an overall, I don't want to call it an easy win, but this is definitely a game we should walk away with a win from.
Yeah, definitely. The only way the Niners lose if they go out and just lay an egg, which I just don't see it happening. The defense, I mean, we had 36 pressures against the Rams, and the defense, the offensive line for the Panthers is, I don't know if it's a little bit better, but it's not that good either. And Mayfield, when he's pressured, he makes a lot of mistakes. And like we said earlier in the show, there's a rivalry between him and Bosa with the whole flag thing coming from college, and he's going to go after him and try to make a statement. Let me ask you, from the defense, what other defensive end or defensive line player do you want to see step up in this game, not named Bosa?
I'd like to see whoever's on the interior, Kevin Givens, Omenahue, Ridgeway. I want to see more of those guys get some more of that pressure up the middle. We know that Ebukam has his streaks where he definitely goes off. Definitely more Drake Jackson. But I definitely want to see those interior guys start getting a little bit more pressure up the middle on quarterbacks. Because the better those two guys are, then think, we're going to get Armstead back at some point. Kinlaw, it's iffy depending on what goes on with his knees. But I definitely want to see those guys because there's a chance they could be in there long term for this season. So I want to see them ascend into those starting positions and start pushing back and making plays.
Yeah, I agree. Press the pocket, push the pocket in, and have the quarterback move back, and that's when Bosa or Samson or Drake Jackson, whoever they have on the outside, come in. We might see. I think we saw a little bit against the Rams, but we may see a little bit of more of Kerry Hyder in the inside as well as a rotation. I know he played a lot of inside in Seattle when he was with Seattle, for the most part. He played in 2020 for us completely in the outside. Melissa says, Kerry Hyder Day, please. Yeah, exactly. So me and Melissa, we're on the same page. Two great minds think alike. I would like to see him a little bit, but you're right. At the end of the day, push pressure, get to Mayfield, distract him, mess with him, whatever it takes. I think that I know we're going to be able to stop the run. CMC is not the same running back that he was once. DJ Moore is not, maybe not no fault of his own. I don't know if I never checked his. I forgot to check his drop count, but I don't know if he's hurts Mayfield.
He's pretty high.
Is he? Okay, so he's not helping Mayfield either. So, and besides that, who do they really have? So, they're gonna find out really quick how. Do you think 2019? Let me ask you with this. Do you think maybe not in the sense of the score, but in the production of the game? Do you think this game will be worse for the Panthers than the 2019 was?
Oh yeah, they're a much worse team now than they were then.
Okay, so I think in that game we won 51-13.
It was a blowout, but I mean it doesn't get much bigger of a blowout than that.
Yeah, when you put a 50 burger, right? I don't expect that honestly in this game, but let me ask you, and I'm going to ask you for your prediction before I let you go. And you've been great guest, man. I enjoyed you tonight.
Yeah, it's been awesome to be here.
Jason. Offensively, not name Debo. Who do you want to step up, or do you think needs to step up if we want to really cement this win against the Panthers?
I want to see more of an established running game.
Okay.
You know, we haven't really had that really big running game yet this season. You know, I want to see, somewhere about 150, 175 yards total from whoever is carrying the ball, whoever's got the hot hand. Can we get one of those 15 play, 11, 12-minute drives, something like that just cements it? Okay, this running game is where because we're a running team. I want to see that kind of performance. So I guess overall, I want to see the offensive line, play up to their ability.
Okay. On that note, before I let you go and have you do your prediction, on that note, on the running game, since you want to see the running game be more productive, what do you think the issues are with Jordan Mason not seeing the field? Do you think it has to do with him maybe not blocking to the potential, or his pass catching is not as good as what Kyle wants? What do you think he's not or hasn't seen the field?
I don't know, just because there was so much hype about him in the preseason. He was playing really good, so I really don't know why we're not giving him up.
And he made the team, right?
TDP. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry to interrupt it, but he made the team as an undrafted free agent. So
so I'm not understanding, especially with Kyle's history of making running backs from nothing. Mason is like the next one in line almost. So I'm not sure. Maybe like you said, it's the blocking for pass protection. He can't pass, and he's just seeing something in practice that we're not seeing every day when we watch the game. So, but I really don't know, because I really want to see Mason. I mean, we went out, we got Mac. Now we went out and got
we brought back Coleman.
Yeah, which I actually liked Coleman when he was here, to be honest with you. But I don't know. I'm not sure why.
So, real quick, if Coleman comes in and plays behind Wilson, is that a concern of more on Jordan Mason, or is just a familiar foe or someone he feels more comfortable with, Coleman? In your thoughts from Kyle's standpoint?
I would think something with Mason. If he comes in and it's automatically where, Coleman is getting most of the carries as the number 2 back, then there's definitely something going on that we're not seeing with Mason behind the scenes.
Yeah, I got you. And Melissa's she's expressing how she feels of those doubters of George. Don't doubt George, or you'll feel the wrath of Melissa. You don't want to feel that wrath. Dina Harvest says special teams is what I want to see. Yeah, we didn't talk about that. Dina, very good point. So far, other than the little scare of the tradition fumbleitis of one Ray McLeod when he fumbled the ball, and I'm like, no, that's what. But it was recovered by what's his name? The running back we brought in. Mac. Yeah, thank you. Mac covered it, so we were able to keep it. But the run game has definitely been better. I'm excited to see that improve more and more. Well, Jason, we have come to that part of the show where we're going to end. I like to keep it to an hour because I understand my guest has things to do, and I do not like to pry too long with my guests. I like to respect my guests on here. Otherwise, they won't come back. So, and I definitely want you back. So, give me your prediction for this game, and let us know what your thoughts are on that prediction.
I think it's going to be, let's say, 28-10. And I think they get the 10 late in, 'cause if we get the lead up, we start running the ball, to the point where it's like we don't know they're not going to come back.
We play prevent defense.
Touchdown. Exactly, all that good stuff, which I hate prevent defense with a passion.
Yes.
But everybody does it. But so I can see them getting a touchdown late in the game after it's pretty much been cemented. We've got all third, fourth stringers in, all that. We know how that plays when you play prevent defense. So I can see something like that.
Exactly. Vitar, welcome to the channel, my friend. Good to see you. Vitar Singh, good to see you, my friend. 28. You said 28-10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah, I'm kind of like. I know Melissa said 31-3. Vitar says 24-10. I'm looking somewhere in the 34-6. I think all they get is 2 field goals from us. I don't think we'll give up a touchdown to them at all. And I would not be surprised if they don't score, period. I wouldn't even be surprised if they don't get past the 50-yard line on us. That's how bad they are. So, Jason, it was an honor and a pleasure having you on, brother. I would love to have you back. Please let all my viewers once again know where they can follow you guys, and please plug in all your platforms.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been a great time, and I would love to do this again with you sometime soon. You can find me and the rest of the guys over at Niner Faithful Radio, and you can just pretty much, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We are at Niner Faithful Radio. Just follow us on there.
There you go, guys. Make sure to follow and support them. The great team over there. I got to bring your co-host. I forgot what her name was. That was with you yesterday.
We got Jamie and TJ.
Jamie and TJ. Yeah, I've talking to TJ before. Jamie I haven't seen, so maybe I'll bring all 3 of you one of these days, and have all 3 of you on the show and have a big
group show.
Have a big group show, definitely. Corey says 31-7. I like it. Dina says 24-7. I love it. All right, guys, don't go anywhere, Jason. Stay right there. Everyone, thank you for being part of the show. You guys have a wonderful day. Be blessed. Enjoy the game tomorrow. Enjoy that feast that the defense is going to have. And let's get that W, and let's move on. Enjoy all the football that you're going to see tomorrow. Until next time, I am Beto. This is my boy Jason. And we say good night, peace, and good night. Later.